solid grounds. Where was this kind of place when I was a young man? It seems like such a waste, the things I was doing. Now if it's Saturday night and you're lonesome and bored, I know a date you can always afford. Maybe what you're looking for is the Lord. Where can He be found? Solid grounds, you're welcome here. Solid grounds, come in and share the best music, Joe, and ministry around. Solid grounds, you're welcome here. Solid grounds, come in and share solid grounds.
Well, good evening and welcome to Solid Grounds Coffee House, a 21-year ministry of St. Stephen's United Methodist Church in Albuquerque and the #1 listening venue in Albuquerque. We have taken up an acoustical project for your listening pleasure. And I'm so excited to let you know that the stage and the sound and video projects will be completed by the time we gather in that space we know as Solid Grounds. So I'm asking you to join us, to partner with us on this project by going to St. Stephen's United Methodist Church website, that is ssumc.com, to make a donation toward this worthy project. Thank you in advance for your spirit of generosity. At Solid Grounds, music is always the food of love. Shakespeare says, if music be the food of love, play on. And we do this every Saturday at Solid Grounds. And tonight is no different. We have a great show for you. Making his debut appearance at Solid Grounds is Daniel Neihoff. Daniel is coming to us from the Music City, Nashville, and he's a singer-songwriter, and he brings a worth of experience to the show and to the stage. He's a natural storyteller and has a great melody all baked into his general music. And so I invite you to sit back and relax and take it away, Daniel.
Hey, this is Daniel Neihoff, and I'm going to sing a few songs for you. This first one is a song called The Right Thing, because I think that if you know what's right and you know what's wrong, then that's a good enough reason to do what's right. And so I got together with a couple friends of mine and we wrote this song about just that. If you find a wallet, bring it back with everything inside. If your buddies had too many, say slide over, I'll drive. If a family's short on groceries, help them pay the tab. Someone stranded on the highway, help them get some gas. Go the extra mile, spend the extra time. Don't let the chance to love somebody ever pass you by. It ain't always easy, but love them anyway. Even if it don't come back to you, do the right thing, it's the right thing to do. If you see an old man standing offer him your seat. If your brother does you wrong, turn the other cheek. And if your heart's already taken, don't act like it's not. No, someone's waiting for you, so give them all you got. Go the extra mile, spend the extra time. Don't let the chance to love somebody ever pass you by. It ain't always easy, but love them anyway, even if it don't come back to you. Do the right thing, it's the right thing to do. The choices we make could change your life, and they might change you. So go the extra mile, spend the extra time. Don't let the chance to love somebody ever pass you by. It ain't always easy, but love them anyway, even if it don't come back to you. And even if nobody's watching you, not because somebody told you to. Just do the right thing, 'cause it's the right thing to do. Alright, well, this next song here is a song called Stains. And I think stains get a bad rep. If you've gone your whole life and you've never gotten a stain, then it means you've never had great barbecue. It means you've never worked so hard that you worked up a sweat. And, a life without stains is a pretty boring existence, really. So, some stains are worth it. And so I got together with Andy Renfrey, and we wrote this song about all the stains that we encounter in our life and how it really changes the scope and the experience that we have. And it goes like this. You can find them on a t-shirt, you can find them on a soul, from a drop of barbecue or the girl who let you go. There's one hidden under the carpet by the stairs. Everybody just walks past it, but I still know it's there. Each one has a story, some we love to tell, and some we'd rather keep to ourselves. A few may fade, but others will never wash away. Stains. Some you have to earn with hard work and sweat, and some come way too easy from choices you regret. Well, I find them on the ceiling when I'm laying in my bed, and when I close my eyes, I find them in my head. Each one has a story, some you love to tell, and some you'd rather keep to yourself. A few may fade, but others will never wash away. Stay. Yeah. mistakes, and stroke by stroke a masterpiece is made. Each one has a story, some you love to tell, and some you'd rather keep to yourself. A few may fade, but others will never wash away. Stains. All right. This next song is called "The Same Road," and it's a little story of a father and a son, and gonna have a couple of those that are stories of fathers and sons. But this one came from a guy who was telling me about Broadway down in Nashville and how different it was whenever he first moved to town. And it was interesting because to him it was still the same road, and for me, I had never seen this road that he used to live on, but it was interesting to be able to kind of get a glimpse of it through the description and the history that he told me about it. So this is called "The Same Road." Come on, son, let's go to town. I'll show you my old stomping grounds. It only takes a 10-mile drive to go 20 years back in time. There was a soda fountain at the old drugstore before Doc had to close the doors. It's where my high school used to be, but now it's just a memory. Well, I know that you can't see it, but when I sit here I still feel it. Well, street names are etched into my bones. Well, that sewer cap was home plate, old Miss Johnson's driveway, third base, back before they tore down all the homes. If you didn't live it, you wouldn't know that it's the same road. The only thing still here's the park. We'd lie in the grass and watch the stars. But now the street lights burn too bright, and the buildings block the sky. Well, I know that you can't see it, but when I sit here I still feel it. Well, street names are etched into my bones. Well, that sewer cap was home plate, old Miss Johnson's driveway, third base, back before they tore down all the homes. If you didn't live it, you wouldn't know that it's the same road. The scenery has changed, but the memories remain. I know that you can't see it, but when I sit here I still feel it. Well, street names are etched into my bones. That sewer cap was home plate, old Miss Johnson's driveway, third base, back before they tore down all the homes. If you didn't live it, you wouldn't know that it's the same road, but it's the same road. Well, I'm sure you've all heard the old saying, I know just enough to get me by. And I was sitting in a write with a guy named Mike Astrakan, and we were trying to figure out what we were going to write about, and we just started talking, and usually some of those songs come out of that conversation before you start writing, and that's how this day was. And we started talking, and I said, I don't know just enough to get me by. And it was one of those things that just rolled off the tongue so smooth that I was just like, man, that's got to be a song. It's got to be. And me and Mike started talking, and we tried to figure out, what does that mean? What does don't know just enough to get me by mean? And for me, it means that there's certain things that I'm really glad I don't understand. Because if they made sense to me, then there might be something wrong with me, and I am so grateful that I don't know just enough to get me by. And so that's what this song is. Don't know just enough. Well, I don't know why there are lost souls who think someone else must die so they can live. And I don't know why there are those who think it's better to receive than to give. Well, I know they have their reasons, but I don't want to see them. I don't want to make their reasons mine. I don't know just enough to get me by. I don't know why some lose hope when they're so close to the finish line. I don't see why there's fighting, and everybody has to choose a side. Well, I know they have their reasons, but I don't want to see them, 'cause I don't want to make their reasons mine. I don't know just enough to get me by. But I know when I'm alone, the answer's always love. And I know when I feel lost, to call on God above. Oh, why would I waste time on things that bring me pain, when I can search for answers to take that pain away? Well, me, I have my reasons, and if you want to see them, maybe there's some answers you can find. 'Cause I know more than enough to live my life. I don't know just enough to get me by. Well, this next song here is a song about the Civil War and about two brothers, and it's one that doesn't need a whole lot of description beforehand, and so I'm just gonna jump right into it. It's called Civil War Letters. penned a letter back in 1862, when battle lines cut through the north and south. It said, "Dear mother, well, I'm dreaming of the day that I get to make my way back to that house. You know I miss you, and I miss Father too, but there's somebody else I can't leave out. So if you talk to brother, tell him that I love him, although I think he chose the wrong side. But I won't hold that against him. I hope God is with him, and I pray we both make it home alive." And miles away, there was another soldier like him, but in a different color uniform. By lantern light, he wrote his own letter on a tiny piece of paper, slightly torn. It said, "Dear Father, do you recall the time that I didn't have to fight in this damned war? And if you talk to brother, tell him that I love him, although I think he chose the wrong side. But I won't hold that against him. I hope God is with him, and I pray we both make it home alive." And it don't matter who they're fighting for, they're just praying that they both survive this war. If they make it home, there won't be battle lines. They'll greet each other, arms open wide, and that's why they write. If you talk to brother, tell him that I love him, although I think he chose the wrong side. But I won't hold that against him. I hope God is with him, and I pray we both make it home alive. They're both praying that they make it home alive. Alright, well, I got time for one more song for you, and I promised you another one about a father and a son. So, this is a song called "I See Memories." I never understood why my father crammed so much stuff in that house. It got to be so full, it was hard to even move around. But my question was answered when I said, "Dad, let's get rid of this junk." And he said, "Son, you don't realize what you're giving up. 'Cause you see a baseball glove, but I see a father's love. You see a rocking chair, but I see your granddad sitting there. You see a gray toolbox that weighs a ton, but I see my favorite moments working with you, son. You may see some things that I don't need, but I see memories. Every item had a story. As you walked me through our past, I realized what my father had was a time machine in disguise. So I went on a journey back in time with my old man. And when I picked up that gold ring, he said, "You're holding history in your hands. 'Cause you see a wedding band, but I see a bride on the beach in the sand. You see a white lace dress, but I see her looking her best. You see a beat up old guitar, but I see the tool I used to win your mama's heart. And you may see some things that I don't need, but I see memories." Then he put a leather book in my hands, said, "It's the most important thing you'll ever read." Every time I thought that I was holding it, it was holding me. 'Cause you see words on a page, but I see my saving grace. You see a golden cross, but I see my guide when I was lost. You see a Bible about to come apart, but I see the light when things got dark. Right now you may see something that you don't need, but someday you'll look back and sound like me, saying, "I see memories." Thank y'all. Daniel Neihoff. Y'all have a good one.
Thank you, Dan, for such a wonderful performance. We'd like to have you back, so let's stay in touch. Be well and be safe. It's time for the message and a couple of humor. Well, there's a couple of questions for you. Number one, what kind of food do math teachers eat? Anyone? How about square meals? Number two, why did the amoeba flunk the math test? Because it multiplied by dividing. Yeah, amazing. And number three, you think you get this one. Yeah. At the beginning of the math class, the teacher asked me, "What are 3 and 6 and 27 and 45? To which Timmy quickly answered, "NBC, CBS, ESPN, and the Cartoon Network." Well, may the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, my strength and my redeemer. Resources in the midst of crisis. Resources in the midst of crisis. What resources do you tap into? Where do you dip into? What reservoir do you dip into when you are facing crisis? A.W. Tozer puts it this way: no religion has ever been greater than the idea of God. No religion has ever been greater than their idea of God. And I say no life has ever been greater than its idea of God or lack thereof. Were you a cosmic accident, or were you created by a loving and living God? This is the million-dollar question, the question that has been debated over centuries by many world religions, because your origin matters. Where you come from determines your purpose in life, and your purpose in life determines your life path. The right understanding and knowledge of God is important because it propagates the truth and the true nature of God. Believing the right idea of God is essential for experiencing the fullness of life. Life consists of a series of interruptions, however, because one day you are up and the next day you are down. You are fine one day, and then the phone call comes after your annual checkup. That odd pain in the chest. Or you turn on the evening news and you're greeted with news of global pandemic or some new disaster has occurred and your life and your world is rocked. Where do you go? Who do you go to? Well, in the Bible, in chapter 8 of Matthew, we have a story. The disciples show us how they responded to the crisis in their life. The story goes like this. They were in a boat with Jesus sailing down the Sea of Galilee, and the winds raged, and the storms and the waves collected water and dumped them on the boat, and they were facing death. But they knew exactly what to do. They responded by going to Jesus and asking for help. And Jesus rose to the occasion, helped them by quieting the winds and calming the storms. So where do you go when you are facing crisis? Most people reach out or dip down into a reservoir for resources to deal with a crisis in an attempt to bring back life to normal. In other words, bring homeostasis and balance into their life. Fred Craddock stories, in one of his stories, he talks about his visit with one of the members of the church, a lady who was facing surgery, and he writes this. He says, I went to the hospital to visit her. I walked into the room, and immediately I saw that she was in distress. She was a nervous wreck. The surgery was major. She was crying. She asked me to pray with her, and I prayed with her. Beside her bed were a stack of books, True Love, The Mirror, the Hollywood Today, books about Elizabeth Taylor and other folks. But he soon realized, I soon realized that there was no ounce of hope in the whole stack of books and magazines to help her through her crisis. She has no reservoir to dip down into to bring out resources like a thought, a memory, a promise, a person, just empty. But how marvelous is the life of a person who, like a wise homemaker, when the berries and the fruits and the vegetables are ripe, she puts them in cans and jars and places them in the cellar. And when the ground is dry and icy and cold and barren and nothing seems to be alive, she goes down into the cellar, and when she comes up, it's May and June at the dinner table. How blessed is that person? Who do you go to when the rubber hits the road? Who do you go to in times of crisis? Who do you pray to in times of crisis? What resources do you have available in the midst of crisis? Well, for believers, we have prayer. So let us pray. Eternal God, we pause to reflect on your goodness and mercy, your compassion, your wisdom. We know that there's nothing that you cannot do. Nothing is impossible with you. You specialize in possibilities. You specialize in mending brokenness. You specialize in restoring us, reconciling us unto yourself. We pray that you will grant courage and wisdom and hope to those whose lives are still impacted by disaster and around the globe. and in this country. We thank you for granting our leaders, both secular and religious leaders in this country and around the world, a double portion of wisdom and integrity. That decisions will be made to restore life, to dignify lives, and to glorify you. That we thank you for the protection you've given, and you continue to give those who are in the trenches, working to bring healing and wholeness to mind, body, and spirit across the land and across the globe. We need you. We need you to order our steps and our words and our deeds in your word to restore us and to keep us on the path of righteousness for your name's sake. And we shall be careful to give you praise, honor, and glory in the mighty name of Christ our Lord, who taught us to pray, Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us of our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. Amen.
Solid grounds, you're welcome here. Solid grounds, come in and share the best music, Joe, and ministry around. Solid grounds, you're welcome here. Solid grounds, come in and share. Solid grounds.